Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft room. My name is Whitney Lucas and I'm with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots. And today we're going to do a cute little tabletop shamrock decoration. I got this cute little guy at Hobby Lobby. Most of my supplies are from Hobby Lobby today. If something is a little bit different, I'll let you know as we create this cute little piece. I just wanted to take a few moments real quick to let you guys know this is my first YouTube video since I resigned from my full-time job. So now you guys, I'm happy to tell you that you will be able to see a lot more of me and a lot more of Crafty Thoughts in the future. I'm going to probably try to put out maybe 2 to 3 videos a week for you guys. I'm also going to be opening a Patreon account. If you're not familiar with Patreon, Patreon is basically it's a form of donation or support for any type of creator, or it's, you know, for video gamers, painters, bakers, anybody that you absolutely, you know, really like watching videos. They make really good content, people who are really good teachers. You can go onto Patreon if they have a Patreon account, and you can support them with whatever donations you choose. So what I'm going to do with Patreon is, depending on the dollar amount that you guys want to donate to me, there will be added benefits to those people. It could be $1. It could be $10. It could be whatever you want to give, so that I can continue to purchase supplies and provide you guys with these really great videos. If anyone needs any further info, basically what it is it's not cost-free to do this. It's my passion. I absolutely love doing it. But as far as other things are concerned, meaning I have cameras, software for editing videos, lighting, I got all kinds of good stuff in here, you guys, and it all costs money. And YouTube ad revenue just isn't, it's just not something that anybody can depend on. I'm not one of those YouTubers that play video games that, you know, has millions and millions of subscribers. It's just one of those things where I want to continue to do this for you guys, and I want to be able to do them a lot more often. And I'm hoping that a couple of you guys, I know I have a lot of people out there. There's a few people who have been asking for paid classes. Might be doing that through Patreon. Basically, through Patreon, you would be sent a link to a YouTube video. At that point, what you're paying for through Patreon is added benefits that I would give you only as a patron or as someone who donates to me. So that is coming soon. Keep track of that. I'll make a separate video to show you guys exactly what that means, but I will be opening a Patreon account and seeing exactly how much and what we can do with that, and the types of things you guys want to see as my patrons. If you're basically supporting me and sending me money, I want to give you guys what you want. So more details, closer views, those types of things. I mean, I'm pretty detailed in most of my videos anyways, but there's a lot more that you guys could see. Possible for larger donations, there may be one-on-one calls, or we could do live make and takes together. Those types of things, those are ideas I've been playing with. My husband's extremely supportive, and he's going to help me out with a lot of it too, but we're going to create a really good community, bigger than the one we already have together. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody through my Facebook, through Instagram, who's followed me over, and then of course all of you guys here on YouTube. My YouTube supporters have been awesome. I went just this past, I think yesterday, day before, I just hit 5,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. You guys are more supportive than my Facebook folks, and I love all of you the same. And a lot of you guys are the same. The Facebook people have come over to YouTube. YouTube have gone to Facebook. I know a lot of you guys are all, you know, multi-social media. So I just know that there are people who only do Facebook. There are people who only do YouTube, and I want to treat you guys and get you guys all together. I want to give everybody the same opportunity to learn the same things that I'm here to teach, and then to learn from you guys too. I've gotten a lot of great tips, a lot of good conversation, a lot of good messages that what I'm doing is helping you guys and inspiring you. And I know exactly what that feels like since I've watched other videos. They do the same thing for me as well. So I just wanted to send out that small little message that this is only a couple days after I've resigned from my job, and I've had one custom order so far. And then now I'm making this video for you guys before I do a Facebook Live this weekend. And it feels good for this to be my new normal. So I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm, you know, a little terrified of the future, but who isn't, right? So it's a huge step, and I know you guys are with me. So I just wanted to take that little bit of a message. You guys will see some more coming out soon. For YouTube, you guys, there is a discussions tab on my homepage for YouTube. If you go back to my homepage on Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, you will see a discussions tab. I've only posted in there once, but I will keep you guys up to date. I would like YouTube to give me the community tab, which would replace the discussions tab, but I've done a little research and that's still in its, it's testing phases. They're not giving that to everybody just yet. There's no prerequisite of followers or view times or views or likes or dislikes. So it's just, hit and miss whenever I get one of those. And then that would be a lot easier to communicate through YouTube to you guys. But for now, just check back on the discussions page. If for any reason you guys don't see a video from me or anything like that, if you're my YouTube only people, that's the best way to keep in touch with me through YouTube is my discussions tab. And you can make comments there as well on the post that I put up. So just keep a lookout for that. And then on Facebook, you guys, I'll see that. I'll have a separate video I'm going to make just for Patreon to give you guys an idea of what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and then how you can join and start supporting your favorite crafter here, I hope. So with that said, I'm going to get started on today's project. Thank you guys all so much. I love you. Your friendship and your support has been amazing. So today, we're going to do this cute little guy here, this little shamrock, on a tabletop display. It's going to go into a little bucket, and I think it's going to be really quick and simple, really cute, just a few supplies, not a lot, you guys. So let's go ahead and I'll pan down to our workspace below, and we'll show you everything we needed to get for this project, and then we'll get started, okay? Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, we're back. Here's our view of our table. So basically what we're going to do today is, let me stand up for this. Here's the supplies we need. Basically what I did was I went to Hobby Lobby a few weeks back and I found a lot of good, cute items. So what I did was I just purchased a few things with a small idea in mind, and this is what we're going to do today. Mainly what you're going to need first is some sort of piece to make your tabletop display visible. So this is a little styrofoam shamrock here I got at Hobby Lobby. It was $3.99. I do know now that Hobby Lobby has all of their St. Patrick's Day items are 30% off or 40% off now. I'm not sure. But today is March 7th. No, today's March 8th. So we only have maybe a couple weeks before. When is St. Patrick's Day? Is it the 17th normally? So we have maybe a week and a half before St. Patty's Day. So you should still be able to find something. This is a styrofoam guy here. Do you see how they've just added all this cute little sparkly stuff to the outside of it? It's just a cute little styrofoam shamrock here. Okay, and then what I have here also is some sort of bucket or base piece to put things in. Now they have these plastic cauldron looking buckets, kind of like a bucket for at the end of the rainbow to find all your gold in, but it was green. And I felt that a black pot or a black cauldron would probably look better, but then that's probably more associated with Halloween, which is probably why they made them green, but I just thought that black would be better for the bottom. You always see a black pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, look at the front of a Lucky Charms cereal box. Anything that has to do with St. Patrick's Day, everything that was on the bottom that your pile of gold was in was always black. So I found this little bucket at Hobby Lobby also. This was in the birthday area section where you have all the little decorations for birthdays. And it's actually chalk. You can actually write on it. If you see here, it says write on me. So if you have chalk, you could write, you know, pot of gold, or luck of the Irish, or kiss me I'm Irish, or kiss me I'm not Irish, or whatever. So I thought that was cute. You could get the little chalk pens or actual chalk pieces and you can write on this. So we'll take that off. That's a sticker, obviously. And we're going to use this as the base. I had to buy a styrofoam ball because we're going to need something to adhere and to stick all of these goodies into. So I bought a styrofoam ball. And now these things aren't cheap, but if you use your 40% off on your coupon on your app or Hobby Lobby, you could get 40% off. This was $4.49, and it's a 4.7 inch ball. Here, let me show you guys real quick. Do you see that? 4.7, and then there's the price up at the top. It's $4.49, but we needed something this size to fit inside of here. You can see here the premise is that we'll glue it in, and then we'll take all of these items and stick them in here, and then that's our base. Okay, so then we've got that. I have a set of chopsticks from Takeout that you always get an extra couple pairs, so I'm going to need one of those to use as my skewer, or you can get a dowel, you can get actual wooden skewers for kitchens. You can do whatever your heart desires. I happen to have a lot of Chinese takeout leftover chopsticks, and this is basically the same as a wooden dowel. It's wood, it's perfect, it works great, and it's free. More than likely, I think anybody who has Chinese takeout's got a couple of these in their house, right? So, I got a couple pipe cleaners we're going to need for the ribbon. I've got a couple pairs of scissors. I've got a pair of little pliers. These are my tools. Here's some new wire cutters I just got at Michael's yesterday. These guys are pretty heavy duty. Here's my old ones I had from Joann's, and they're, by any means, they're definitely still good. I just wanted to get a new set. I like these. It's important to me to have something here in the middle, if you see this piece here, that makes it open. It keeps it spring-loaded. If you get a pair of wire cutters from the hardware store, they won't open on their own. They're manually done. And I've had carpal tunnel, so I need pieces to open for me. If you see this brand new set here, I can show you. I have another piece here. I just bought them yesterday at Michael's, so this is what they look like here. Okay, they weren't inexpensive. These are about $24.99 for the set. But Michael's is doing all kinds of crazy good discounts and coupons on their app. So if you look here, this thing has like a little, if you see here, there's a little hinge. You pull this hinge down, and look how far that opens. That opens really far, you guys. That's a really good spot. And then so you can do the same thing. Close it again, push that lever back up, and it locks. And then if you can see here, it's got a good angle to it. So just, you know, a lot of you guys ask me about these, the clippers. So I just bought these yesterday. So I'm excited to get to use them. Then what else do we need to go through? Oh, ribbon. Here's some ribbon choices, guys. We're going to use all of these. This is just your average, you know, 50-cent spool of ribbon you get at Michael's. I got emerald green because I'm going to wrap the chopstick with it. And then these two choices. This I actually purchased at Hobby Lobby. It's $4 regular price, but if you get it on sale, obviously it'll be cheaper than that. It's just white with some emerald green, let's see, not 4-leaf clovers, these are shamrocks, okay? And then here's a dark emerald green with white polka dots. This I got on craftoutlet.com. Any kind of ribbon choices that you guys come up with that will be fine, that's just where I purchased these guys, and then we're going to use those. This is actually a little bush of flowers I got at Hobby Lobby. Now, it is reused from a previous project. If you can see here, it's missing 1, 2, 3. It's missing about 4 bundles. I've cut them off. So I've got some leftovers. I'm going to use this as filler. Just pretty much bright, white, cute little fluffy flowers. And then I also chose this. Now, these are also a leftover from a previous project. But if you can tell here, if you get closer to the center of these flowers, it has like a little bit of a green tint in there. So I felt that the white with the green in it would look really, really good. And I got 4 of these left on this bush. This was also used for a previous project. And so that's why these cute little tabletop designs are really good to like, just get rid of some of your leftovers. Just call them stash busters. It gets rid of the stuff that you kind of don't want to keep in your supplies anymore. So I'm gonna use these to fill at the bottom of it as well. So pretty much, guys, that's pretty much all of our supplies, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to unwrap this guy here and we are going to get started. Alright guys, here's our styrofoam ball. We're going to take the tag off of our little black pot of gold pot. We'll call it pot of gold pot because that's what we're going to stick with. I want this to be where you're going to find all your treasure, which basically our treasure today is our cute little view of how all this is going to pan out once we're done. This is our little pot of gold. Let me see if this is going to come off really easy. Here's the test. If it doesn't, then this will be our back. You know what I mean? If everybody thinks, well, if I put a scratch on this side, it'll have to be the back. And basically for this project, there isn't really going to be a back, if you guys know what I mean. This is a tabletop piece, so it's going to look cute from all angles. Oh, this is going to be one of those nightmare pieces. Oh no, you guys. I'm trying not to scratch the actual bucket. All right, and get a good diagonal pull. If you've ever done any work with vinyl or transfers, like the best way to get at something is just to pull diagonally and just keep slowly pulling diagonally. And it's not leaving any residue, so I'm just going to keep pulling diagonally, pulling diagonally. It's tearing here, but it's all right because it's coming off. There we go, guys. So just keep pulling diagonally. A little slow here, and then right and left, right and left. If you guys can see how I'm doing that. And then I use this to like pull off any little extra pieces that got stuck. Normally works pretty well. There we go. There we go. So, pretty clean. Can't see anything on there. If it was to leave some residue, you guys, you just get some Goo Gone or some of that adhesive remover to take that right off. And then, of course, since this is chalkboard, I guess I'm leaving some fingerprints all over it. But this little chalk thing would be really cute. Could write something on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have my handle turned down. And then I'm going to get the styrofoam ball ready and place it inside here first. What I want to do is I want to check on this thing. Sorry guys, move these out of the way. And I want to see up close here how far down it goes before it touches the inside here of the bucket. So I need to know how far down to place that guy in there. So I'm eyeballing it. I'm going to put the glue probably around in this area here. And that's just basically on the glue gun. I'm just going to run a string of glue all the way around. Be careful not to get your fingers, guys. And you can kind of hear that glue is melting it. You hear that sizzle? Oop, almost dripped. And I'm going to place that right down in there like that. And when you place it in, you can kind of feel. You can feel that the glue touched a little bit. Yeah, it's in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let gravity work with my glue gun. And I'm just going to drip glue right here between the bucket and the styrofoam. And I'm going to let gravity help me and just get that glue stream right down in between where I need it to go. I got a little hole here. There we go. I'm going to fill that in. Just keep working around. And there we go. So I'm gonna let that kind of, you can feel the heat from the outside too. I can feel where that hot glue is touching right around in here. So if you look in here now, you can kind of see how I have it all the way around all the edges. And that's how I got most of that in there to get a good seal. So there's your bucket. So we're going to push that off to the side for a moment, and now we're going to work on our little shamrock guy here. So let's take our tag off. We're going to actually remove that piece of ribbon because we're not needing it. So let me see how they have it secured in here. I don't want to create a huge hole or anything in the styrofoam because I can kind of see some glue here where they put that. So let me take my scissors here and cut this as low down as I possibly can and see how it looks. No, doesn't look too bad. They have a piece of styrofoam sticking out here. I just kind of pushed it in with my fingers. So there, I just cut that off, pushed a little bit of they had some styrofoam sticking out of that hole, pushed it right back in there. And then there, you're not really focusing on any of that. You can't see. Right here is where I pulled out the piece. So this guy sheds a little bit. Kind of expected for something with that tinsel type stuff on it. I guess you could use some hairspray or some spray dry adhesive if you want. I'm not really concerned with it. I don't mind if it sheds a little bit. I think that's just par for the course. It's just part of the deal. Same thing with like mesh. I don't mind if those things kind of shed a little bit. So here I'm going to open up my chopsticks. Okay guys, throw that wrapper away. I'm going to pop them open just like you're about to enjoy dinner. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this pointy end as the end I'm going to point into my bottom piece. But I need to cut this piece here at a diagonal so that it's sharp enough to go into this guy here. So I'm going to get my wire cutters here. And I'm just going to cut that here at a diagonal. And if you guys can hear that squeaky, that's my dog. Sorry about that. I got the door open and she's up from her nap, ready to play. So if you see here, I cut it at a diagonal, so you've got a nice little sharp piece. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the end of my skewer, or my, skewer, dowel, stick, whatever you find, chopstick in this instance. And I don't want the piece to go in like this. I don't want it straight up. So you see, guys, I don't want to have this piece just going straight up like this. What I'm going to do here is I want it to be diagonal. I want it to stand up really cute but sideways. So I'm going to put the stick and a dowel in here on this corner here. So it's really all about finding your center. And since this is styrofoam, slowly working thing in, just work your stick into it, work your dowel into the corner. And so if you see here like that, guys, that's pretty much how we're going to place this into our project. So I need to take it out and I need to place this guy over here. I'm going to pan to the right a little bit. You guys will see I've got my pick machine, I've got my glue skillet right here, and here's my hot glue gun. So we're going to roll this guy into the glue skillet just like that. Get a good little amount of glue on it. You see the circular motion. And then we're going to place it right back into the hole we made. And then slowly push a little bit harder just so you're not worried about it too much. What I'm going to do here is I've got some excess glue that's kind of not, I don't really want all that hanging out there. So I'm going to take my other little dowel tool here and I'm going to kind of try to wipe it off a little bit. And then I have a silicone mat over here, this big pink thing you guys can see. And I kind of wipe the glue on that. Because we're going to cover this stick a little bit with ribbon, but I don't want all that glue right there to be really a focal piece. And see, now since it's got a little bit tacky, I can touch it, and I'm just going to start kind of pulling some of it off. And then here you can pull all these pieces off of your mat and then throw them back into your glue skillet. All the little pieces that fall off of your glue gun, if they drip, your glue gun drips right here, you can pull them off of these silicone mats and just throw them right back into your glue skillet. So even little tiny bits of glue you're not wasting. It's all good. So what I need to do here first is I'm going to add the emerald ribbon to the skewer. And all this is just going to give it a little bit of texture. It's not going to hide anything by any means. I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to hide the chopstick, because you are still going to see it. It's just going to give it a little bit of, just a little bit of interest, a little bit of texture. It's not meant to conceal. It's just meant to add a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of sparkle to it. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the end of the stick and get this piece of ribbon glued down, just kind of as a starter there. And I'm going to go straight across maybe 2 or 3 times first. Okay, so probably about twice. And then on the third roll, on the third run over, what you can do here is just hold your ribbon and twirl your project here, and you'll start to see, you can start to see the pattern kind of emerge. Does it need to be even? Some of this is going to be covered. It just gives it just a little bit of depth, just a little bit of cuteness. And then if you're not happy, which I'm not at that one point, if you're not happy with your spacing, just unravel it a little bit. And then you can hold it with your thumb and your index finger and kind of control it as you twirl your piece. Just twirl the stick, and then you can kind of control the spacing. If you want it to be a little even, if you want it to be a little uneven, it's completely up to you. So I'm happy with the way this looks now. I'm going to hold it down here. I'm going to cut it off with this. Just want to get a good little spot here. This is more than likely going to be in the styrofoam, so it's not, you know, crazy important that it's ended nicely or neatly, because this is all going to be shoved into the styrofoam. So I've pushed that down. You can use your other chopstick as a tool to help you if you want. It's a little too hot to touch. That's basically what it looks like in the end. So that's just a little bit of cuteness we added to it. That's just, it'll take your eye away from the fact, like, what is that? Is that a stick? Or is that a dowel? What did they use? So, you know, it just adds kind of a cute little aspect to the stick. That way it's not just a dowel stick. And in this case, a chopstick. People might be like, oh my gosh, a chopstick. Basically, a chopstick is a dowel, you guys. We eat our Chinese food with dowels. Okay, so now here, I need to see. It's pretty straight on. Basically, you just hold your piece even in front of your hands, and you can kind of see the stick may come off a little bit to the right or the left. I need to compensate for that. So when I place it inside my piece here, just going to hold it up a little bit towards the center, and then just press down in there, you guys. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And then also check your height. I'm not sure if you guys can see here. I'll pan up just a little bit. If you see here, the bottom of the piece, here's the bottom. I don't want it to be crazy high. I also don't want it to be too short. But I'm actually very happy with the way it is right here. So we made the hole. We're going to take that back out. I'm going to place this end here in my glue pot. I'm going to get a very good, decent amount of glue circled on the bottom of that. And then place it right back in as far down. Don't push further. When it tells you to stop, when you feel resistance, stop, because that's where you're at. And that's pretty much where you're working now. You have your piece. Pretty much, this is the premise of it. I'll pan up just a little bit more, you guys can see. So this is basically what we're working with. It's kind of cute already. We're just going to add a lot of little fluffy stuff down here. And we're almost done, guys. It's a cute little fast project. This is styrofoam, so it's really not, it's not heavy at all. It won't really fall over. It's not going to be top heavy at any moment. So I'll focus down here at the bottom now. You guys will be able to see here all the stuff we're going to add. Okay, so I'm going to do ribbon last, so I'm going to set that off to the side. These two guys will be our little adornments, but they won't be put on till the end. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut up my flowers and just see how much I can feel here at the bottom. So I got the two kinds. These are my larger flowers. I'm going to cut them first. And I'm not going to cut the stems very long at all. But I am going to use the last 4 of these guys I have on here. And what I'm going to do is, on one of them here, it didn't have a leaf on it, but there was a leaf on another part. So if you see here, here's where this piece has been cut off. I just took the leaf off of the other stem, and I'm going to feed it through the bottom of that one. And now this one has a leaf on it. So don't be afraid of using different greens. All these greens are going to complement each other, and you'll see in the end, in the long run, it's going to look amazing. Same with these guys here. Now these are a lot smaller. I have a feeling that what I'm going to do is probably cut them into 2s and then use them. Yeah, I'm going to use them this way. If you see here, this guy here, here's one stem, right? So if you can see here, let's pull this one further down. This one flower is basically 2 parts. So I'm going to take this part here, and I'm going to cut it here and put a steel pick on the end of that. And then I'm going to cut this one, glue the top of it, and I'll put a steel pick on that. And there'll be 2 separate flowers because I'm going to probably need more space to cover a lot of ground in there. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's just cut this off from the bush. Okay, so I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So we cut this one flower off of the bush. All right. Now the flower itself, is made up of 2 parts. So I'm going to pull the second part down. And now the top part is sticking out on its own. Hold on, where did I miss something? Actually, this flower's, wow. 1, 2, this flower's 4 parts. So here's the top piece. And then you have 2 pieces stuck on this. And then you've got 2 pieces here and 2 pieces here. So I'm going to take the 4 and divide them into 2. So I got 2 sets of 2. I'm going to cut this guy off right here. And then I'm going to leave this one on, but I'm going to cut it shorter. I'm going to see if it'll allow me to curl it down. Sometimes these things don't allow you to curl them down. It's kind of not good quality. This one's not too bad. I'm just putting like a little eye loop on that, so that way it won't come back up off the top. There we go. Or if that didn't work, you could always just put some hot glue there in the middle. So then I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. And what I'm going to do is put steel picks on the ends of those. And use those. These don't need steel picks because they're pretty much thick enough. I'm going to put them on there. These are thick enough as well, so I may actually not need to use a steel pick. I'll just wait and see, you guys, if we need to use a steel pick. Obviously, if you don't need to use them, save them, because it obviously drives the cost up a little bit because you're using more supplies. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to get all these guys cut off, and then we will play around with placement. Sorry guys, that squeaker in the background, if I try to take that from her, she will, I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but yep, that's my doggy and a squeaky. I don't have a bird. I have 2 wiener dogs, and one of them really likes her squeakers. And of course, as I talk about it, she squeaks it more. That's my babies. So set that off to the side. Alright guys, so let me get my 4 flowers back in front here. And let's just kind of take a look at placement as far as, let me pan up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. As far as placement is concerned, I think what I want to do is, I'm just going to throw most of them towards the top by the stick and then push them down in and see how much they cover. Because I don't want to cover too much of the stick, but I also don't want the stick to have to be the focal point. So I'm going to take these 4 and I'm just going to place them at different points around this base here. If you see here, that covers a decent amount of the stick, and you've got some nice pretty florals popping out here. It's really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them back out, and I'm going to put glue from my glue skillet in the ends of these. And basically I'm committing to placement where I found them. So that's basically where I'm placing them. Pull them back out. Put some glue on the ends of them. And place them back in the holes. Okay, so now all of our fluffier, bigger pieces are in. They're in their regular homes, and that's where they're going to stay. And here's where we're going to fill in with these little guys here. So, I'll pull these 2 down. Push that one up. So basically, I'm just making my own picks out of these flowers because I don't need something so large, but I also don't want them to be too small. And also it's a little more cost effective when you get to seeing about the cost of some of these things that you're purchasing to make for your projects. You'll realize if you were to buy picks that were small enough, you'd end up having to buy 12 of them, whereas you could just buy a whole bush of flowers and that bushel of flowers would only cost X amount, whereas 12 small picks would end up costing you much, much more. So it's more sort of a cost-effective tool if you're trying to make something a little bit less expensive, or you're trying to make multiples if you needed to make like 50 of these for a party or a church event, or for tabletop centerpieces, those types of things. That's where some of the price, you know, meaning needing it to be cost effective, may come in. All right, now this guy here is already only have 2 on him, so I'm leaving him the way he is, and it's just not needing to be picked down any more than it already has been. All right, guys, and now we're ready. That's the last one, so now we're ready to just add these in. And this is going to help out a lot with filler, because if you see in here, you can definitely still see styrofoam ball around these edges and inside. See right there's a big one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start grabbing them and placing them kind of periodically around the perimeter. And then from here, after we're done placing all these in, this is where we're going to go back with our ribbon, and we're going to add little bow bundles, or basically I like to call them loop bundles, because I'm not really going to have to make bows where you're twisting and holding and pulling. I'm just going to be basically cutting a bunch of loops of ribbon, and then we're going to put them in about this, you know, in the same fashion we're doing now. Don't worry about glue strings while you're making it. You can basically work on those and pull those out later. At the end, you'll see all, and of course they're going to show up because we're using that cute this little black pail here. It's going to show up, and I'm down to my last 2 little white filler flowers. So I've come around full circle and adding my flowers. Okay, I just want to take a peek here and see where the biggest gap is, and then throw this little gal in there. I'm going to say right here towards the top, that's where the biggest gap is. And I'm going to throw this one right in top here. So there's the florals, guys. We got a little bucket of white flowers. Isn't that cute? Just little extras I had on hand. And if you don't have them on hand, this one little bundle of those extras I pulled apart, I got at Hobby Lobby. When their flowers were 50% off, I got the whole bundle for $2.99. And what I used here was not even half of that bundle, because I'd used it on a previous project. So that's where you can see, you can fill this with any little extra pieces you have left over, or you can actually just buy cute little inexpensive bundles, brand new, cut them apart, and make them spread across your whole project, so you're not using so much of, say, smaller pieces. Okay. Next, we're going to add our ribbons. So this is where we're going to need our pipe cleaners. I have 3 pipe cleaners here, and what I'm going to do is cut them in half, because we are going to use the pick machine for these. So find your pipe cleaner. You can bend it in half this way if you want. Just kind of find the middle, eyeball it, cut it apart. So now we can add 6 little bow loop bundles. And I don't believe I'm going to need more than 6. If I do, we'll just grab another couple pipe cleaner. And I chose green. We're not going to see the pipe cleaner pretty much at all, so it's nothing really to worry about. And I'll show you guys here how we're going to make these little bundles. So let me unwrap my ribbon. This is brand new ribbon, so I haven't opened it just yet. What I'm going to do is dovetail this one end. I'm forever, you know, creatures of habit. I dovetail the ends of everything when I open it. whatever my starting end is. We're going to make 6 bundles, so I might not dovetail it all, but there really is no rhyme or reason to the patterns and the rhythms I take in my projects. I just have fun. It's whatever makes you happy. So I'm going to just pull this one off that way. And then this is kind of a thinner ribbon. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not wired. I thought it was wired. It's not wired, but it's not going to be. It's not going to ruin our project. It's super cute, and it's going to add a lot. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it's very fluffy. It's very light, so it'll work out perfectly for our project. And I'm not going to dovetail it since this is such a thin ribbon. I'm just going to cut it at a diagonal. So we're just going to have this cute little diagonal ending on it, so that it still gives you a finished look. So I don't really have any kind of measurements in the mind. What I like to do is kind of just see what kind of looks good and how big the loops need to be, you know, for the project first before I try, and that looks really about good. So basically, I take my ribbon and I test out a loop. I get a little hoop here in my hands, then I hold it up to my project here, and I'll say, look, there's a cute little gap that's perfect for a bow right here. I hold it and I press it in towards where, as deep as it's going to go into the project with my thumb. Is that loop large enough? Well, no, it's kind of being hidden inside there. If you can see, that loop kind of isn't really seen. I want it to be a little bit more prominent, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and that's just grabbing lower down in the piece where I was holding it. So I was holding it up here, so grab it further down, and you see how the loop gets bigger. Give it a little pinch so you have an idea of what it looks like. Place it back into your project. Now that's got a better presence. That's the size I'm going to go with. And basically I'm just making them all like this. This is just an estimation by eye. If you guys need a measurement, I will definitely give you that. This is about 4 inches. So the loop itself is 4 inches. That means it's 8 inches between the 2 pieces you're holding. That's how big you're going to make your loop. Okay? And then I'm just going to cut this off where I think I want the tail at. And I'm going to make another one. And see how I'm holding the 2 together already? I've got this one to gauge by the size I want to make this one. So then I grab that and I pinch that one. I got 2 loops about the same size. And then I'm going to cut this one just where I feel like I want it at. No absolute reason why there's nothing necessary telling you have to do it a certain way. Now on this guy, since this is all one-sided, I'm going to do the same exact thing, but I need to twist this so the front of it shows. Cut that there. And see, now you guys, with Patreon, I'll be able to give you more up-close, detailed how-tos. So I have not figured out the dollar amount that I wanted to require that to be, but if you only want to just, you know, support just a small amount, everything counts. I believe that with Patreon, the minimum is $1. And trust me, if I got $1 from even just 100 of you guys, that would significantly help me in buying more projects, buying more supplies so I can make more things. And then you guys can actually request what I use it with. You can request for me to make a butterfly arrangement or make, you know, anything like that. It's going to be basically, you guys are supporting me, so I want to give you more of what I can, more of what you want to see, things that I can help you with, techniques, those types of things. So I'm grabbing my pipe cleaner and I'm just going to twist it around here. I'm going to keep twisting, not necessarily till you get to the end, but remember we cut these pipe cleaners in half. So then I'm going to cut that off, kind of. I'm cutting it off basically as long as the steel pick is here. And I'll show you guys off to the right here. Let's pan back down. I'm going to place this piece of the pipe cleaner into the steel pick machine. And there I've just turned my ribbon into a pick, if you see that there. That's basically what we've done in order to place that back into our arrangement over here. So I'm going to just kind of play with my loops a little bit. I'm going to dovetail the other ends. Okay, dovetail all these little ends here. Get these little tails any which way. And then basically I'm going to take my steel pick end and I'm going to place it right here into this nice perfect little spot. We have an open spot here. You can see all that sticking out. We got an open spot there. So I'm going to put my steel pick in my glue pot, my glue skillet. Twirl it all around. If you don't have a glue skillet, all you're going to do is just put glue on the end of it with your glue gun. And push that guy all the way down into the project. All the way into, basically, I want it in, all the way in at, to be touching the styrofoam ball is how I want it to be. And then that's where you're looking at. So you've got a cute little bow just kind of popping out. All it is a bunch of loops. I like to place these cute little curly things here in the ribbon. You guys can tell there. That's how I like to put the little curl ups in the ribbons. And that's pretty much what we're working with. We're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Maybe not such on a large level, but I'm going to get these little ribbon bundles. Maybe this one as large as it is with the 2 pieces of the green polka dot. We'll do 1 more this size, and then I will make the other 4 just 1 loop of the large and maybe 2 loops of the small. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away for just a second while I make all these, and then we'll be right back and I'll show you guys exactly how many more loops we're going to make. Okay? Okay guys, welcome back. I've got all the ribbons made in their little bundles, just like I showed you previously. So I want to show you real quick. I've got 1 more large bundle here with the 2 loops of green polka dot. That's similar to this size here. So we've got 2 large bundles. And then I have 4 more small bundles. If you see here, it's just a 1 loop green ribbon. And if you can tell here on the back, all I did was basically make 1 loop, but there's only 1 tail. So you can see there I cut it loose, or I cut it short enough to where there was only 1 tail pinched, and then I made just a small little loop of the shamrock ribbon. If you guys can tell, remember before I said it's not wired, but do you see how it moves, how it's got a lot of movement and it's airy? It's not a heavy ribbon, so the fact that there's no wire in it is a-okay because we've cut it short enough in a way that the movement's not going to hinder it. It's not going to need to be wired. And you can get away with that on a lot of smaller, thinner ribbon. This is only a very, I mean, what width is this? This is a very small ribbon. Oh, this is 7/8 inch wide, and then there's 6 yards of it on this roll. I bought 2 rolls just because of how cute these little shamrocks are. They got a little bit of a kind of little glittery and shimmery look inside, but 7/8 inch wide ribbon isn't going to really need to have wire in it as long as you're cutting it, you know, pretty short. So I've got 4 of these bundles made here, if you can see these little small bundles here. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to add it to the arrangement. I'm going to pan up just a little bit. Oh, public service announcement here, guys. Remember I showed you I had my new wire cutters I used? Well, apparently I wasn't familiar with the fact that you guys can see that little circle there. See, it's oiled. It's got a lot of good, you know, that mechanical grease in there that keeps things good and moving. And then a lot of times you should always oil, especially even here, your pick machine here, these types of things. You definitely want to keep them oiled so you can keep them working well, but then you also should be careful of your clothing. So I'm going to need to work to get that little stain out. It's no biggie, but just remember, obviously I'm filming today for you guys. I wanted to wear green so that everything looked nice, but I should have worn an apron. But anyways, that's where that came from. Just try to keep an eye on things. Otherwise, usually when I'm in here by myself, you guys, I don't wear anything special. Trust me, this is all just for you. So all I'm going to do is add in these 4 bows, and then I'll pan back and I'll show you guys the bigger picture. If you want to see here is, since we've already placed this large bundle here, I'm going to place the other large bundle we made on the opposite side of that. So whatever direction you're looking at this as a centerpiece, both sides will be balanced. And even though they're not identical, because I don't like things to ever be identical, you have balance to the piece. So for any reason, in any which way you're facing it on your table, it has the same sort of feel. Not necessarily needing to be identical, but just has a good feel to it. So I'm just kind of moving some of these tails on the polka dot ribbon to each side, so I kind of have a good square, good square look to it, if you see that there. I've got 2 tails here and 2 tails up here. And I'm going to move this, just move this stuff around a little bit here, get these all twisted the right way before I put glue on it and stick this guy in his new home. So one sec, guys, while I just kind of move these little things around. Get that in there like that. Okay, so here, my bow, my original bow is here. I'm going to turn it all the way around here, and I'm going to look for a natural opening, which there's a good opening here. And there's a big empty space in a styrofoam here, you can see. If I could see if I'm moving this around right. There's a big empty space right here. So, I'm going to turn it towards me, and I'm going to hold it open with my hands. So I'm just holding it open this way here. And that way I can see how I want to place my bow in there. So now I'm going to get some glue on the end of my steel pick. Get a good little twirl around of glue. And I'm going to place that guy right in that opening. Not really paying attention to how high up or how low it is, because the bow is pretty fluffy on its own. And I'm just pressing that in the center, right where the steel pick is on that pipe cleaner. Just pressing it all the way down in until I hit the styrofoam. Because I want that to help make it puffy. When you're pressing something into a full item, it kind of puffs out on its own. That's what we want the bow to do. We want the flowers and the styrofoam to push the bow out towards you. Kind of helps fill in the gaps, and then it also makes your piece a little thicker. It's just, it helps out in the entire, the whole picture. It helps the whole picture. And I think this is going to be the one time, guys, that I'm not actually going to add anything into the bows. I don't think it really needs anything added in because of all the white flowers and the fluffy stuff we got going around here on the other sides. So now with these other 4 little pieces I made, I'm just going to basically place 2 here on this side and 2 here on this side in between the 2 bows. So we got a bow here, and we got a bow here. So start them between those 2 bows. I'm going to place one kind of going upward at the top here. Oh, and look at that. I missed chevroning this one. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell, guys. Don't tell. I missed a chevron. 5 seconds. There we go. Missed a chevron opportunity. That's another thing you got to do at the end. Check all your ribbons. Check all your parts. Make sure they're all glued. So I'm going to go ahead and just separate things around. Move things around a little bit, find my openings, and then glue in these guys wherever I can get a good little piece. And I kind of want to let the thinner ribbon, the 7/8 inch Shamrock ribbon, kind of do its own thing, let it go whichever way it wants. It's going to be really full with these ribbons, guys. It's not something that, I wasn't concerned in the beginning because it won't be too full. I love ribbons and flowers, so in my opinion, can't really have too much. But again, my opinion is not everybody else's. This is just giving you a good idea of what you can do with just a few supplies and how you want things to appear. Okay, so here's where I'll show you guys in between the 2 bows. On this section here, there's my first loop here, and I've put this one going down, and then right up here, oops, sorry, it's backwards for me on this camera. There's this loop, and then the tail comes up here. So I let this ribbon kind of do its own thing. This one goes down, this one goes up, and if you can see here, let me get these strings. This is how I filled it in. So here's our large bow that we did, and then here's the in-between. So you can see there's a loop right here, and then there's a loop, whoops, right over here. So in between the 2 bows, large bow, that's how we filled it in. So basically, as you turn your piece, you've got a good little kind of, it's just a beautiful little mess of ribbon and florals, and it makes you happy. It's really making me happy just peeking at it. So now I've only got these 2 guys here, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to kind of find its natural placement. So I'm going to put one probably over here, I'm going to put these two closer to the bottom because this loop here is already got a lot of goodness here at the top. So I'm going to put these two down here on either side of the bottom, kind of make it look like it's spreading itself out that way. So, you know, towards the base of the little black bucket. And again, I'm just pressing it all the way down into that styrofoam. I'm going to let the shamrock ribbon do its own thing. There we go, move that one that way. And then this guy I'm going to probably place maybe, I'm going to kind of place it here like this. It should never ever be like a, I'm going to place this one going upside down. Just to let that thicker black, I'm sorry, the green and white polka dot ribbon kind of do a little bit of a acrobatic, crazy little dance here. Push that guy all the way in. So I got a loop here. I'm going to curl that up. Move those two the way they want. So I've got, I'm going to turn this loop sideways, so I'm just going to grab it with my fingers and twirl it. You've got it secured with a pipe cleaner. It has wire in it, so there shouldn't ever be an issue with worrying like something's going to come loose or anything like that. And it's really just about kind of pulling and twisting and maneuvering, you know, manipulating the ribbon to where you want it to go. It's secured by wire. It's not going to come loose. And at this point, it's on a steel pick and it's been hot glued in. So you should be all right. Everything should be fine. And even so, if something should come loose, this is the time you want that to happen. This is the time you want these, like that just fell off right now. This is the time that you want these things to kind of malfunction or, you know, quote unquote, fail on you, because this is the time where you want to see those mistakes happen. So I can't actually find where this little piece came off at. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it to the base of that one right there. I'm just gluing it to the plastic stem on the inside of the flower. So guys, that's it. That's the completion of this cute little project. And now I'm just going to twirl it and see if every side is kind of the way I need it to be. It sure is. All right, guys. So here I'm going to scroll up for you. Pan out, maybe I'll pan down just a little bit so you guys can see the project a little bit better. And that's about it, guys. Look how cute that turned out. Isn't she cute? So cute. I love it. It was actually very simple. Very few supplies, as you guys saw at the beginning, very few supplies. And a lot of these, all these flowers I already had on hand, but inexpensive at that most. You know, it's not crazy overpriced. It won't be something that you're really going to need. You know, it won't break the bank. Super easy project, really cute. And it's actually something that you can apply to pretty much every holiday. You could do this for a baby shower. You could do this for, obviously, Christmas, any kind of item. I made an Easter bunny centerpiece. You guys can check that also on YouTube, my video for that. Same premise applies, except for instead of a centerpiece styrofoam bottom, you could use an Easter basket. Baskets with babies, storks, anything you can find that necessarily doesn't have to be styrofoam in the middle. There's other ways to secure things to sticks and dowels. And if you guys can tell here, even the dowel or the chopstick we used, you can't really see that guy. But there's just enough depth and interest with that ribbon we tied on there that you can see that that's what that's about. It's not necessarily meant to be a focal point, but should your eyes be drawn in that area, you got it covered with just a little bit of ribbon. So there's that, you guys. This is going to be super cute. You can put this on your desk at work, in your office, in your break rooms. If you have like a customer area where, you know, maybe a coffee bar at your business, or if you even just want to put this out on your own table at home, your coffee table, end table, by your front door, this would look really cute in the kitchen. I'm probably going to place this on the bar in my kitchen until it sells, because you guys, this will be listed on Etsy. So if you're interested, keep track of my Etsy account. If you go follow Etsy, you'll get notifications every time I list something. So once I get pictures taken later today, I'll get this uploaded and listed on Etsy, as well as probably by the time you guys see this video on YouTube, because it takes a while to get me to get all that good stuff edited in. So that's about it, guys. I'm super excited with this. This is really cute. And so far, let me know in the comments how you guys feel. Let me know anything about what you guys feel on the Patreon idea. And then also any other paid classes I may come up with. Let me know if you're interested in taking something with me. Also, there may be some one-on-one type items I can schedule, whether it's through some sort of Google FaceTime through the computer, or Zoom meetings, those types of things. We can figure all that out. But you guys let me know what you want to see. I'm going to put some poll questions out pretty soon. And then again, if you're just YouTube, check that discussions tab, guys, because I'm going to keep in track and I'll be keeping in touch with you guys there. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and your well wishes in this new adventure full-time for me. Just stay in touch. Give me your comments and your tips and tricks at the bottom in the comments below. And then also like and subscribe and share if you can. So I appreciate all of you guys' friendship. And until next time, take care. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.